Hey guys, this is Carrie. In this video, we're going to be using another for each loop, but I think it would be really cool to maybe see a more visual example that uses some new tools. So let me just save the starter file and load it up. So what I built for you guys is a grid of 256 different lights. And I'd like all of these lights to turn on when we click on them. So the starter file that you get won't have this mistake, but this should have been active instead. So in order to see what a light looks like when it's turned on in this grid, the first light has a class of active, which means that it will get these active styles. So let's save it, refresh it, and now you can see that that light is on. So maybe an interesting first thing to do would be to turn all of the lights on. So doing that would take a really long time, right? We'd have to add this active class to all of them. So we're going to do that programmatically. So the first thing we have to do is this time we don't actually start off with a list. What we have to do is we have to create a list of all of these lights. And to do that, we're going to use a slightly new tool, which is a way of selecting, instead of one thing, selecting all of the things that share something in common. So we've done this in our rock, paper, scissors, but now it might make more sense. Let's let all of the lights equal document.querySelector. And instead of just ending it there, query selector all. And this modification is going to allow us to select all of the things with a dot, so class of light. And to turn all of these lights on, we want to do the same thing for each of them. So let's say lights dot for each. And then what we could do is we could say take the light that we're currently up to and do this. Now the thing that we want to do to that light is we want to give it a class of active. So active will mean that the light is on. So to do that, we say take the current light that we're on, matching this keyword with this keyword, and do class uppercase list dot add, I think. And the thing we want to add to the class list is active. Hopefully I've got it right. So let's give it a save and a refresh, and now all of the lights are on. But even more interesting to me would be, what if we could make this actually like a light system where we could turn the lights off and on by clicking on them? And that's actually really easy to do using this tool. In fact, what we want to do is we want to make it so that each light is listening for a click. And whichever light we click, that light turns on. So that sounds really complicated, but it's not using the for each loop. So what we could do is you could say take all the lights, and then for each light, do this. We'll take the light that we're currently up to as we loop through this list, and add an event listener. So we'll go to our toolbox, add an event listener, and the event we want to listen for, oh, I'm trying to use pretty paste there, it's still not working out great, so maybe I'm just going to redo that. I'm going to grab the whole thing, and pretty paste should work now. Command Shift V, yep, that's better. So instead of element take the light that we're currently up to, that light should listen for a click, and when that light is clicked, what we want to do is we want to turn the light on. So let's do that light dot class list dot add active. Because what's turning the light on is whenever it has these active properties, whenever the background is pink. So let's give it a save and a refresh. So now it starts off, only the first light has a class of active. But because we went through, we selected all of the lights by using query selector all, and we went through and we gave them each this event listener, then each one of these should turn on as we click it. And that's pretty cool. We just created 16 times 16, 256 event listeners in 4 lines of code. So awesome. But now lights are kind of useful because you can turn them off and on. So if I click this one 100 times, it won't turn off. So in order to do that, it's actually very easy. You just change one word. Instead of always adding it when we click it, what we want to do is we want to toggle that class off and on depending on whether it's there already. So you just change add to toggle. So now every time we click a light, it's either going to add active to that class list by toggling it on, or if it's already there, toggle it off. And you can turn the first light off as well. So now that you've got this, the video is kind of complete here. Please draw a picture using the lights of something you think is cool, and then screenshot it. So just to remind you of how to screenshot, if you wanted to create, I don't know, something, and then you screenshot it, you do Command Shift 4, and then you have this little target symbol, and you can screenshot whatever part you want, and I guess I'll be coming around to check to make sure that you did that. So in the next video, we're going to do an even more interesting version of this one.